What up, people? Coach V, New Breed Boxing. What's the perfect age to start boxing training? What is the perfect age? People have been asking me this a lot lately. I look at beginning boxing training the same way people would look at investing. And it's basically the same thing because you're investing in yourself. So the best time to get started is right now, right away, as soon as possible. I have said previously in other videos, if you're like in your teens or older and you're in horrible shape, like you can't sustain 30 minutes of activity with an elevated heart rate, then you should get some basic level of fitness through some cardio training, at least, just so that you can maintain and sustain a whole training session without losing your mental cognition because you're so tired you can't even focus, because at that point you're just wasting your time. Aside from that, with that being said, if you got a decent level of fitness, get started right away. The first thing I recommend doing though is start studying, watching as much boxing as you can. Amateurs, professionals, guys from 1,000 years ago, guys that are currently fighting, take it all in. But don't put too much pressure on yourself and start setting bars that, I mean, it's good to have goals, but right now just take it one day at a time and just learn. Say, I want to learn the fundamentals, get those perfect. Then once you got that down, then we can start progressing on to other things. As far as what's the earliest age that you can start though, technically you can start competing at the age of 8 years old. I've trained kids that young. I've had, kids competing under me at that age. I've trained my own kids, which are all still very young, but they've been training since they could walk. And I've noticed through my experience, the best thing to do, instead of just showing them what to do in the beginning, because they're not going to get it, bring them. You can let them watch it on TV, but bringing them to the boxing gym is the best way to find out what you're working with. If they have no interest, don't even bother training them. I don't think you should push anything on somebody if they're not interested. But with that being said, if you take them to the boxing gym, and especially the better gym you can take them to, the better, the better visual they can get and the more excited they're going to be about training. So once they see really good guys in their groove, whether they just hitting the bags, doing floor work, or they in the ring sparring, or whatever the case may be. When my kids would come to my gym, and they still do, and I throw boxing events too, when they would see the fighters training, sparring, and then I would bring them to the boxing events, they would just started training on their own. And of course, you don't want to let them make a lot of mistakes and stuff like that, but at the same time, you don't want to take the fun away by being overly critical either. When they're young, let them have fun with it. They'll have a good eye for what they want to do, because they're going to want to emulate what they see, especially if they're really, intrigued by seeing two guys sparring, or they see a guy that's, physically fit, looks like somebody they look up to, somebody that can kind of inspire them. Once they see that energy, they're going to want that. It's like it's like a natural high they're going to get. They're going to be like, I want that. I need that. This is going to be an energy that they can't even put their finger on, but they know the only way they're going to get it is by being around those kind of people and, learning every day. They're gonna, start getting better and better. In the beginning, it's gonna be a mess. They're gonna be all over the place. That's why a lot of guys get frustrated, because they try to make them too perfect too soon. Don't do that, but at the same time, don't let them just run wild. Give them a little bit of structure and then stop it before you take the fun out of it, basically. You know what I mean? So anyway, I hope you found this informative. Like, subscribe, comment. Go put that word out if you know anybody who's got some kids that want to get started. As soon as they can start, taking orders and basic instructions, we can start that ball, get that ball rolling and get these kids out here. And you never know, man. You starting at an early age like that. That's the one thing I will say. There's a lack of, just parents, I think, pushing their kids into doing physical activities, especially boxing. It's kind of got that stigma. People are afraid of kids getting hurt or whatever. Boxing, especially at an early age like that, believe it or not, there's less injuries in boxing at that age, especially 8, 9, 10 like that, than a lot of other sports. So don't be afraid of that. Let them try it. Put them in the situation, see how they do. If it's not for them, take them out. You know what I mean? If it is, never know. You might have sparked something that turns into a big sensational situation down the road. But anyway, I hope you found this informative. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Go check out my Instagram, coach.v_. Still taking them prospects. Coach.v_ is where you're going to message me at if you want to get that online training program going. I got a big discount for the first 10. And till the next time we up out of here. Ow.